This is the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier. Did Chevrolet make the changes you were hoping for? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're back at Red River Chevrolet in Bossier City, Louisiana to go over the changes and all of the main details on this Tahoe for the 2025 model year. If you want to know more about this particular model or anything else they have here in inventory, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color on this model is called Iridescent Pearl Tri-Coat, and it has a jet black with sky cool gray interior. I'll give you a much closer look at the interior later in the video, but just to let you see real fast what you're going to have where that is concerned. And the changes start here on the front end because you're going to have changes to the overall design of the front end, the headlight design. This area has changed right here, and the design of the headlights have changed as well. Your daytime running lights are here, running down here, and headlights right there. Full LED, everything is LED. And they're also going to be animated. So here's what I mean when I talk about animated. You can see what's going on right there. Hopefully that's showing up. I know we had the nice bright Louisiana sunshine here, so it might be a little bit harder to see, but full LED lighting, headlights, daytime running lights, turn signal indicators, tail lights, everything. You've got your sensors here on the front end. That means you're gonna have a lot of great safety features, and additional lighting will come from your LED fog lights that are located down here on this portion of the bumper. Now you're gonna have a combination of some chrome, a little bit of gloss black, but you're gonna have a matte black finish with the trim down here on the lower portion. And that's a good place for that because that's more likely to get the damage from the rocks and all the debris that can come up off the road. And I don't know how well you can see it, but you also have active air curtains on this area on both sides of the front end. I'll show you where the air is actually passing through, which is going to be this area. You can see the daylight a little bit better right there. And we're also going to have 20-inch polished aluminum wheels. We're going to have the chrome. And by the way, here I am. Hi everybody. Can't see me today on the camera as much as we'd like to, but we're working our way to get back to that. But you can see me in the chrome mirror caps. Turn signal indicators are built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable. And when you push this button right here, here's what's going to happen. Those power folding side view mirrors are going to fold or unfold. And you can go into the infotainment screen, and there's a setting where you can set so that that will happen every time you lock and unlock the vehicle. Speaking of that, here is the remote that you can use to lock and unlock the vehicle. One of the ways you can do that, lock, unlock, remote start, and you can open and close your power tailgate. You can also open the glass on the tailgate back there, or the lift gate as some people call that. There is your panic button, and I'll show you all of this as we get to it. Now you won't have the power assist steps. I don't think that's too big of a deal for most people in this particular case. They're the affixed in place side steps, assist steps, but they definitely do a good job. And I like that we have passive entry, not only here on the front doors, but on the rear doors as well. That's going to be on both sides, obviously, at all four doors. And if you're not familiar with what that is, when you have the remote in your possession, you can walk up and push these buttons to lock or unlock all four doors. For you parents, or whatever the reason is, when you come to the back doors first, you can still unlock all of those doors. You'll find the chrome trim around the lower portion of the windows working its way right up to this area. And then we'll have our roof rails up top that allow to have the crossbars. You can increase your cargo capacity that way. One of the nice little tricks to take advantage of that. And we'll have our animated tail lights, just like we had with the headlights. Maybe a little bit easier to see here. Still a little bit bright. That actually is much brighter in person at night than it is right now, being outside in the bright Louisiana sunshine. Quad tip exhaust will finish things off back here. I like that. It works. It's active, no faux exhaust. Under the hood is the 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8, putting out a plentiful 355 horsepower and 383 pounds-feet of torque. All of that's going to be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And we'll work our way back here for some information you often don't get in these videos. Number one, the gas tank size, which is 24 gallons. And on a full tank of gas, you should be able to drive about 360 miles. If you would like to tow with your Tahoe, you can tow up to 8,400 pounds. That's a very respectable amount. out. So you can definitely get the job done depending on what you need to do. You can see your Premier logo on the tailgate right there as it gets up and out of our way. Now, one thing I do want to share with you real quick, if you buy one of these Tahoes and you cannot get this rear door to open with the power function, here is what you need to do. Now, it will open, but you can manually open it in all situations. Say the battery dies, or if this setting is off right here. And here's what we have. So we've got the button right here. You can set it to max, you can set it to 3/4, or it could be set to off. And most likely, if it's not opening, that is what you need to do. Depending on how you configure things back here, we're looking at 25.5 up to 122.7 cubic feet worth of cargo capacity. The switches right here in the front will control your middle row seats. You can lower those with those buttons right there, and we can hold these buttons down on the rear to lower one or both of these middle row seats. Now let me get these other seats out of the way to make this a little bit easier. Sometimes that's what you have to do, or move those seats up a little bit, which, by the way, they do slide back and forth. But here is how everything looks when your cargo capacity is maximized, and it is a lot of space. The one thing that is noteworthy here, we'll say, is that you're going to have to manually put the middle seats back up. You can use the buttons right here. You can do one or both to bring the rear seats back up. I'll just do those one at a time. Now, depending on how you want to configure things, it's nice that you can do that. Just so you know, if you need to just put down one side as opposed to both, you do have that option. You do have a power outlet right here if you need to power something. Nice to see some functionality like that here. And let's see if I can get this floor up and out of the way so you can see what's underneath here. There are the tools to change a tire if you ever need to do that. I don't think I told you earlier, there is a spare tire located right here underneath the rear of the vehicle. Always nice to have that peace of mind. There is not a tire repair kit here. And now we'll take a closer look at this jet black with sky cool gray interior. A very nice interior. It is light, but I do like that for a few different reasons. Number one, if you live in a really hot environment and maybe you park your Tahoe where there's a lot of sun coming in, you don't have to worry about the seats being so hot as they would be if it was an all jet black interior. You have the upper and the lower door bins, plenty of room, and the large armrest right here. That's always a nice thing. There's our Chevrolet logo on the door sill, and via the releases right here, these levers, there's a couple of things you can do. This front lever determines the position of the seat. I already told you that you can slide the seats back and forth. I've got this seat moved all the way up, and the seat over there on the passenger side moved all the way back. And to gain access to the third row, well, there's a couple of different ways it can be done. You could go in through the pass-through right here, but in my opinion, at least for us grown-ups, it's a little bit easier to pull on that release there once and then twice, and then we can hop on in. The seat gets up and neatly out of the way, and we're going to find the USB port right here, couple of cup holders, and the roof-mounted air conditioning vents. If you watch me regularly, you know that I am a big fan of roof-mounted air conditioning vents because the air is going to be so much closer to your passengers' faces. I have seen some SUVs that have it down in this area. Now, here is the difference in the positioning of the seats. You can see I have a ridiculous amount of leg room right here. But if I slide over to the passenger side over here, the seat is all the way back. And you know what? It's still not terrible. I might be okay for a little while like this, maybe a couple of hours or so if I had to sit back here, but it's not too bad. You're going to have the same setup over here on the passenger side with the USB port and the cup holder and a little bit of space back here. Quite a bit of space actually in this model. So we actually have seating for 3 people back here, and then the 4 additional seats between the middle and the first row. So this actually is a 7-seater. And let me show you one more thing here that's very important. Rear seat passengers can obviously go through the pass-through right here, or if the battery died on the vehicle for some reason, they can use this release to get the seat up and out of the way. But the easiest way is to use the switch right there. So we're going to push that one time, we're going to drop the seat down, and then we're going to hit it a second time. We hold that button down, and the seat gets up and out of the way. We can hop right out. One more thing, You'll notice that I'm not talking about a sunroof because this model does not have one. So if you're that person, maybe you're like me, I prefer no sunroof in my vehicles. So you do have that option if you don't want a sunroof, as opposed to the panoramic sunroof that is available. And one thing I like here is the presence of the grab handles. Now, I am a little surprised that there's no grab handle at the driver's door. There's one at the other 3 doors, but I guess the driver is expected to just grab the steering wheel. Kind of interesting, but it works. Rear seat pockets on the back of each seat. You also have the cup holders on the back of the center console and the command center right here. For the 3rd zone of climate control, we have 3 zones, 2 in the front, 1 in the rear. You can control fan speed and temperature back here. All that good stuff works, as well as the heated seat function right here. We also have another power outlet right here, and there are a couple of USB ports. One thing I do like to mention is that with these captain's chairs, you do have the armrests. Personally, I do wish they were maybe a little bit longer, but I guess it's not too bad. It just seems like if it was maybe up to this area, that would probably work. Or if we wanted to take that a step further, maybe the height of the seat back right here instead of being in this place. But you know what? Most people are probably not too worried about that. Tell me what your thoughts are on the size of these armrests. And returning back to the rear door, because there was something I forgot to do that I promised I would do earlier. Notice I hit the button twice right there for the rear glass to open up. Here we go. That's how that works. Just because I promised to show you that and I realized I forgot. You can reach down in here and load or offload whatever you need. Maybe you don't need to open the power tailgate. And something else that's very nice here is the cleanliness of the back window. And I don't mean literally, because it is a little bit dirty, but when I talk about the cleanliness is the fact that there's no rear window wiper exposed right here. It is tucked away inside of the rear roof spoiler. Personally, I like the way that looks. And let's hop into the interior. I'm going to hit the passive entry right there. We're going to start off here with our door panel. Going to have the large armrest here, a little bit larger than what we had in the rear, and the large upper and lower door bins right here. Plenty of space where that's concerned. Here's your drive mode selector and everything for controlling your headlights. Safety features right here. As far as that goes, if you want to turn the auto stop start on and off, there is the control for that. You also have the control right here for your power adjustable steering wheel. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. So let's see, would it be easier to reach up here or to grab the steering wheel to get in? What do you think? Now, before I do that, let me cover one more thing here. We do have power adjustable seats. The driver and the passenger also have lumbar support. So all of that is going to be here. Now, a big change is going to be the overall design of what we have right here with our screens. So I'm going to reach down here and hit the button to start everything up. We'll get that up and running for you and let you see how all of this looks. These are some of the bigger changes for 2025 and something that I think would definitely be considered. One of the right changes, the changes you were hoping for, is the fact that you now have a column shifter right here. Gone is the push button shifter. Chevrolet heard a lot of you. They read your comments on my videos where you said you didn't like that push button shifter. Here's what you have. Conventional style, maybe a little bit smaller, but you know what? I think that works because I know in my GMC 2500 I have more of a conventional larger shifter. For me, it's not a big deal, but I've had some people tell me that when they have the truck in drive, that shifter kind of gets in the way of the infotainment screen. And how about that all-important question of the sticker price? $79,585. As far as your steering wheel goes, here's what it looks like for 2025. I like the fact that you don't have a lot of gloss black here. There's a little bit down here, but most of it, the trim is going to be a brushed aluminum look. That works. You can turn your heated steering wheel on or off right there depending on what you want to do. Everything for your adaptive cruise control is right here. Now, as far as your instrument cluster goes, here's what we're going to have. I'm trying to kind of get out of the way a little bit because it's hard to see, but let's change the view and maybe that will help some. It's a little hard to see with the glare. Just one of those things. I apologize for that. But you do have several different views here. a different look depending on what you want to have. If you want navigation, there it is. And all I'm doing is pushing this button right here. You still have your paddle shifters on the rear of the steering wheel, as well as your controls for volume and for changing stations when you're listening to the radio. All that good stuff is going to be here. You're still going to have your control over here that is a multitasker. It does 3 different things. You can control your windshield wipers, your rear window wiper, and you can use those things called turn signals that good, courteous drivers use to let people around them know what their intentions are before they change lanes or turn or merge into traffic. Yes, it's actually not that hard to use, and I promise there's not a Surgeon General's warning on that lever that says it's hazardous to your health. Yes, it's okay to laugh unless you're the person that doesn't use your blinkers. Now, as far as the shifter goes, you just pull that back. You can see when you hold it back, it's going to go into neutral, but you're going to have to keep it held back like that to go into drive, and then you let go of it, and then we do the same thing to go into reverse. Now you'll see that when I do this, it doesn't do anything. So it's kind of a fail-safe of sorts in case you bump it when you're cruising down the road. That's why you have to push it back like that. And to go into park, we push the button right there. Upper console, you pretty much saw this earlier, but here are all of your controls, everything that you have as far as that is concerned. The only thing missing here is a sunglass holder. I am a little bit surprised about the lack of a sunglass holder. But you also have your power console right here. So that button that I've got my finger on right there, that's what that's for. So you can, if you have middle row passengers who don't have long enough arms or they just don't want to reach up and get their drinks out of the drink holders, you can give them to them pretty much back there. They can almost reach up and grab them without even moving. But you could use this area for storage if you wanted to, and it does conceal away a nice little drawer right there. So some nice space available that's hidden away, and then we can just hold that button. You will have to hold the button down because if I let go of the button, you'll notice that it stops right there. So in case you were curious about that, well, now you know. Here is our volume control. Pretty obvious to know what that is. And even though this is a new look for the infotainment screen, that doesn't mean that it's complicated. It's just as easy as it's ever been. I really like that. Simple to use. Everything for your air conditioning is going to be down here. Now that is a little bit different because it's now in the infotainment screen right there, but you don't have to use that. You can use the physical controls down here if you want to. That's not a big deal. I'm going to turn the fan speed down and turn the ventilated seats off. And you're still going to have your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You'll wirelessly pair your smartphone. So that's all here. Google Assistant is here. You've got Alexa. The Play Store is right here if you want to add any apps. And we also have all of our camera views, and there are plenty of camera views. You have your overhead view, and then we have a little bit of a different look here. Instead of having the cameras all down here as far as selecting what camera you're using, you have everything right there. We can go to our side view cameras right there, go to the standard view, and obviously you have your backup camera as well. It's very nice, very convenient. They're clear, easy to see. That definitely works. I like it quite a bit. Now we're going to go in here. In fact, let me show you what's on the second page of options here as far as your different apps go. You do have your built-in maps right there. You already know that you have maps because you saw what I put up on the driver's display right there. But I do want to go back here and answer something that I know a lot of you like to know about. In fact, we'll just run through what's here. Really not that big of a difference from what we've seen the last few years. The only difference is that it has a different look to it, but just so simple to use. So you're going to have your audio settings, teen driver. You can turn rear seat reminder on and off, buckle to drive. I do recommend using your seatbelt when you drive. But for instance, when I'm changing the position of this Tahoe around here in the parking lot, well, it's nice to not have to put my seatbelt on to put the Tahoe into drive. But here is one of those things I wanted to tell you about that I know you like to know about, your safety features, driving aids. So you have forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, park assist with braking, rear cross traffic, and rear pedestrian alert. Hopefully that helps out for those who want to know about that kind of thing. There's a lot going on here, that's for sure. Now, the one thing I am a little bit surprised here is that we don't have any kind of ambient lighting. I know we've seen that come in a lot of other GMCs and Chevrolet models that have been redesigned. Now, this isn't a full redesign, so likely we'll see that when that time comes, maybe in 2027 or 2028, hard to say. Maybe that's really important to you, I don't know. Some people like that, some people aren't worried about it. But in case you were curious, there's the information you're looking for. And as I told you earlier, here are the controls right here for your air conditioning. So if you want to use physical controls, you can do that, or you can use everything up here for your heated seats, your ventilated seats, all that good stuff is there. Your wireless charging pad is here, and a couple of USB options. Be careful not to play the piano right here on the piano black so you don't fingerprint that up. Got the cup holders right there, and plentiful space with the armrest, or the lid that doubles as an armrest, the lid for the center console. And there is quite a bit of space within that area. Also, we're going to have some additional space within the glove box. All right, we're going to get out on the road for a quick test drive here. And one thing I did want to mention that I forgot to mention earlier is the fact that you have the safety alert seat for the driver. For those of you who are not familiar with what that is, depending on what's going on with your parking sensors and different things going on around you, the seat will vibrate in the appropriate area. For instance, if you turn your blinker on and you go to change lanes to the right or to the left, the seat is going to vibrate on the appropriate side to let you know that there's somebody there in your blind spot, in addition to obviously your blind spot monitoring. So very, very nice. Kind of foolproof almost, if you want to put it that way. But that's the big advantage to using your blinkers. I know I make a lot of sarcasm about that, but it is a good idea to do that. Overall, it is a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Now, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to the test drives on these videos that you watch on YouTube is that those of us who are making the videos unintentionally, I'll say, we tend to filter what we're experiencing through what we're most used to as far as the way the vehicle operates. And there's a reason why I'm saying this. To me, it feels like this Tahoe is not a huge vehicle. I don't feel like I'm driving a bus, kind of like what's driving on the other side of the road right there. But you have to keep in mind, I'm used to driving a GMC 2500, a very large truck. But still, I don't think it's too bad. It's very easy to get around in. You have all those camera views to help you out if you're not sure about what's going on around you as far as what you might need to see. If somebody parks too close to you, or maybe you park too close to somebody else. It could happen. It goes both ways. Yes, it's another one of those things to laugh at. Don't get offended. But that's nice to have. Easy to see out of, that's for sure. I really like that. Now, you don't have the rear view camera mirror here, but unless you have somebody that's in the middle seat of that third row back there, it really shouldn't be a problem. But again, you have your cameras, you have all that good stuff. And one thing that I can't really show you is that you can leave your cameras on while you're driving, believe it or not. So if you do need to see what's going on behind you and glance into the over there every once in a while at the camera on your infotainment screen, this new generation of the infotainment screen, they will stay on while you're driving. That wasn't the case with the previous infotainment screen. But again, just be careful, be wise, don't stay focused down there. But there can be a lot of advantages, and it's not just the rear view that does that. It's actually all of the different views. So depending on what's going on around you and what you need to see, you can actually take advantage of that. A very comfortable ride quality as far as this model goes. I feel really comfortable. I feel like I would be happy on a nice long road trip. It wouldn't wear me out to drive. The seats themselves are very comfortable. I definitely like the seats here as far as the color goes. The only downside to that is the fact that if you have kids, I don't know if it's perfect or not. It depends on their ages, but that can make a little bit of a difference. But it's a shame that light colors show dirt so easily, because this is really a nice color and it has a lot of advantages, as I mentioned earlier in the video, especially if you're dealing with a lot of heat during the summer. The seats aren't going to be really hot when you get in if someone's wearing shorts, whatever the case is. So a lot of advantages there. Easy to use and learn technology. That's always been the case with Chevrolet. That's a good thing that you can always count on. And everything is easy to get to from the driver's seat as far as the different controls and switches and everything go. Gas pedal and brake pedal are very easy to manage, at least in my personal opinion. But that's why, again, going back to what I said earlier, I'm used to my big truck. At the end of the day, you really need to make sure that you come out and test drive these vehicles for yourself before you make a decision on whether or not you're going to buy one or not. And there it is, the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier. Did Chevrolet make the changes you were hoping for? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I'm always interested to receive your feedback. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this Tahoe for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And please share this video on your timelines on social media. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.